Here's a story I never forgot. Two entrepreneurs, same age, similar ideas, same city, but their endings completely different. One built a business that changed lives. The other quietly disappeared, drowning in debt, frustration, and self-doubt. And the crazy part? It had nothing to do with intelligence, nothing to do with luck, and definitely nothing to do with money. The difference was psychology, not talent, not opportunity, not even the idea itself, just the invisible patterns happening inside their minds. Today, I want to take you on a journey into those two rooms, the room of entrepreneurs who succeed and the room of entrepreneurs who slowly sabotage their own dreams without even realizing it. This isn't a motivational speech. This is a psychological mirror, a reflection of the habits, beliefs, fears, and emotional patterns that shape two very different destinies. As you listen, try not to judge. Just observe, and maybe recognize pieces of yourself. Chapter 1. The Beginning. Two different hearts. Most people think entrepreneurs start with confidence. They imagine someone bold, fearless, ready to conquer the world. But in reality, most entrepreneurs begin from the same place. A little hope, a little fear, and a quiet voice that whispers, "Maybe I'm meant for something more." Both the successful entrepreneur and the failing one hear this same whisper. But what they do with this whisper is where the split begins. The entrepreneur who succeeds doesn't feel brave. He feels responsible. Responsible for trying. Responsible for improving himself. Responsible for becoming someone his future self will be proud of. The one who fails also wants success, but he feels entitled to it. He expects progress to happen fast. He expects results to validate him. He wants success to prove that he is enough. One moves from purpose, the other moves from insecurity. And that simple difference becomes the seed of everything else that follows. Chapter 2. How they handle the first wall. Every entrepreneur hits a wall, the moment where things stop feeling exciting and start feeling overwhelming. The successful entrepreneur sees the wall and thinks, this is part of the journey. Something here is meant to teach me something. He slows down. He observes. He adjusts. The failing entrepreneur hits the same wall and suddenly feels attacked. Why is this happening to me? Why is it so hard? Why is nothing working? The successful one asks, what is this obstacle trying to show me? The failing one asks, why am I so unlucky? One gets curious. The other gets emotional. Curiosity moves you forward. Emotion traps you in place. Entrepreneurs don't fail because of the wall. They fail because of the meaning they attach to it. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Action versus Delay. There's a quiet battle that happens every morning, a battle between two voices. One says, just start. The other says, wait until you're ready. The successful entrepreneur listens to the first voice. He works even when he's unsure, even when things feel messy, even when the plan isn't perfect. He knows that clarity comes from movement. The failing entrepreneur waits for motivation, waits for certainty, waits to feel like the perfect version of himself. But waiting slowly becomes avoidance, and avoidance grows into guilt, and guilt becomes fear, and fear becomes the reason he tells himself to quit. Psychologically, winners build identity through action. Losers build identity through excuses, not because they're bad people, but because fear feels safer than trying. Chapter 4. Their relationship with failure. Here's something most people never understand. Successful entrepreneurs don't avoid failure. They study it. They ask, what broke? What did I misunderstand? How do I fix this? Their ego stays low. Their learning stays high. The failing entrepreneur takes failure personally. He thinks it means he's not good enough. He thinks it confirms his fears. He hides from the lesson because the lesson feels like an attack. So instead of improving, he retreats. He starts moving slower, thinking smaller, and dreaming less. One uses failure as a stepping stone. The other uses it as a reason to stop climbing. Chapter 5. Their hidden emotional triggers. Most people think business is logical, But business is 80% emotional. And the psychology of entrepreneurs can be summarized in one question. What do you do when your emotions get loud? The successful entrepreneur feels fear, insecurity, confusion, and frustration, just like anyone else. But he doesn't build decisions on those feelings. He feels them, plus still moves. The failing entrepreneur becomes dominated by emotions. When he feels overwhelmed, he stops. When he feels discouraged, he quits. When he feels jealous, he changes direction. When he feels anxious, he freezes. He thinks emotions are instructions instead of signals. This is what separates the two. Winners have emotional discipline. Losers have emotional reactions. But both feel the same pain, just handled differently. Chapter 6. Vision versus validation. Every entrepreneur is searching for something, but what they search for determines their destiny. The successful entrepreneur seeks vision. Who can I become? What impact can I create? What problem can I solve? The failing entrepreneur seeks validation. Will people like this? Will people support me? Will people approve of me? The difference? Vision builds momentum. Validation destroys it. The successful entrepreneur plays the long game. The failing entrepreneur plays the approval game. And approval is a game you can never win. Chapter 7. Discipline and the silent hours. There is a moment in every entrepreneur's journey where nobody is clapping. No recognition, no results, no validation, just silence. The successful entrepreneur thrives in the silent hours. He works quietly. He improves quietly. He studies quietly. He grows when no one is watching. The failing entrepreneur depends on external noise. Attention, praise, immediate results. When silence comes, he feels invisible and gives up. This is why discipline is not about strength. It's about self-respect. You do the work not because the world is watching, but because you refuse to abandon yourself. Chapter 8. How they handle comparison. Comparison destroys more dreams than failure. The successful entrepreneur looks at others and thinks, what can I learn? What can I model? What did they figure out that I haven't yet? He uses comparison as education. The failing entrepreneur looks at others and thinks, I'm behind. I'm too late. They're better than me. He uses comparison as self-punishment. One compares with curiosity, the other compares with insecurity. Same external event, different internal interpretation. But Chapter 9. Adaptability. The quiet superpower. Markets change. Trends change. Opportunities shift. The successful entrepreneur adapts. He is flexible in method, but stubborn in purpose. If the strategy fails, he rewrites the strategy, not the dream. The failing entrepreneur clings to comfort. He keeps doing what feels familiar, even when it no longer works. In psychology, this is called cognitive rigidity, the inability to adjust thinking. Adaptability is not intelligence, it's humility. Chapter 10. Identity, who they believe they are. This is the deepest psychological difference of all. The successful entrepreneur thinks, I'm someone who figures things out. The failing entrepreneur thinks, I hope I can make this work. One identity is empowering. One is fragile. Winners believe they are capable of becoming the person their goals require. Losers wait to feel ready. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives results. Results confirm identity. It's a psychological loop. The question is, which loop are you in? Chapter 11. The turning point. The final split. Every entrepreneur reaches a breaking point, a moment where continuing feels painful, a moment where quitting feels easier. And this is where the true difference appears. The successful entrepreneur whispers, I didn't come this far to abandon myself. And he takes one more step, just one. But that one step opens the next door, and the next, and the next. Until one day people call him lucky. The failing entrepreneur whispers, maybe this wasn't meant for me. And he walks away from something that may have worked if he had just given it a little more time. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not opportunity. It's psychology, the psychology of holding on just long enough for the door to finally open. Closing reflection. So now the question is no longer, why do entrepreneurs succeed or fail? The question is, which room are you in? Which habits do you recognize? Which beliefs are shaping your destiny? Quietly, daily, invisibly. Success is not born from magic. It is built from mindset, from emotional control, from identity, from small decisions repeated consistently. And the truth is, you don't need to become someone else. You just need to unbecome the version of you that fear created. Your story isn't finished, your psychology isn't fixed, and your future is still yours to rewrite. Breathe, reflect, and step into the room of entrepreneurs who succeed. Not someday, not later, not when you're ready, but now. In this moment, with this mindset, the journey begins inside.